Hey, Julie.
Hello, everybody. Give me about 5 seconds. We're having technical difficulties getting connected to Instagram. But we may just have to go without tonight. But we have been going without Instagram Live, so that might have to be okay. Sorry for my Instagram folks. I was excited about that, darn. Hey, Dad, how's it going?
I'm doing well. Can you believe it's November?
No, I have already started buying Christmas presents.
November. I was in a store over the weekend, heard the Christmas music.
Oh, is it already out? I went into Kroger today and they had all their Christmas stuff out. I have not yet put out my Christmas stuff, but that is because it is next week's budget to buy a tree. But come next week.
Oh, now come on. Now, at least here in the U.S., for those of you, we have Christmas, but Thanksgiving comes up for us in November, and it's starting to get a little disrespected here with the Christmas tree going up before Thanksgiving, Julie.
See, I think you can lump in, like, I say you can put Thanksgiving as a part of the Christmas holidays because it's not spooky like Halloween. So we're at the end of Halloween, and as someone who doesn't get to experience Christmas in my apartment because I come home for the holidays, it is cheating myself out of Christmas time to wait until after Thanksgiving because then I only get like 2 weeks in my Christmas decor.
Well, speaking of Christmas, Julie, this is not financial advice, as it says here on the screen. Do your own research.
This may have been a common phrase I heard from my dad, and I decided to leave it as quotes.
And it's used a lot in the crypto space and the meme coin space, and it basically absolves the speaker from any responsibility. I'm going to try to pitch you on buying something, but I'm going to say, hey, do your own research, but I'm still going to tell you why to buy it. So I don't do that, but I do have to disclaim it because, no one spends your money but yourself. Your wallet is your scoreboard for your domaining if you're in domaining to make money. And I realize not everyone is in domaining to make money. So when I do domain coaching and everything, the first question I ask is, why are you in domaining? I got into domain name investing because I wanted to get a head start on what a website could be by getting a good domain name at a wholesale price to help me have a better website. So
right.
I wanted to have this company called prepsports.com for high school sports. And I thought the best way to be in that business would be to buy a good domain name so that at the beginning, when you call someone up and you say, hey, you want to be on my website or can you sell us a product? They say, who are you? You really don't have a lot of track record, but at least your domain name can kind of ooze some credibility.
Right. Okay.
Credibility from being good. Credibility from being edgy, maybe. You know what I mean? Right, Julie? Like in branding, it doesn't always have to be like Brooks. Like if it was clothes, it doesn't always have to be Brooks Brothers, right? Like classic. I'm sorry, classic. Yeah.
Maybe before
House of Lauren. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, Brooks Brothers was before your time. So whatever brand you're trying to be authentic about, so but some people like collecting domains. They're like, I just want to have that. I want to have that. Some people are like, I don't know if anyone, I want that name. And if someone buys it from me, they're going to have to pay a bunch of money. And if I never sell it, that's fine. And, I think the worst mistake a lot of people can make when giving domain advice is to give like pure cash flow investing advice to someone who's just having fun. They're like, I'm just spending $100 or $1,000 a month, and maybe I treat it as an expense, and maybe those expenses will end up being worth something. I totally understand. Yeah.
I met a gal at NamesCon that literally bought a domain name that was the score of the Super Bowl because she was like, oh, why not? Like, it just made her happy, and that was her first experience. Like, she had been in domain investing for like 20 years. That was her first conference.
And for the price that you pay, I mean, if you look at the little knickknacks you have around your house, sometimes you just want to have them, right? So anyway, but If you were domain investing, I'll do some live domaining tonight.
Okay.
The warning, the things I'm about to show you could make you want to buy a huge number of domain names, which might not be the best thing for you.
Or it might be the best thing for you.
The best thing to think about domain names is you're buying sunflowers and you're putting them up for sale in a sunflower field. So you want to think that your sunflowers are pretty, but people have the ability to buy or pick for free any sunflower in a great big field, and you're trying to say that yours is the best.
You got to give it some TLC.
What's that?
Then you got to give it some TLC. Make it grow bigger.
Now, if you could get someone in a room where you could only show them your sunflower, then you would have a better chance of them going, that sunflower's awesome. And I think that's the way a lot of people think about their domains when they think about selling them, is they think, well, if someone showed up and they gave me the time to tell them the story about my name, they should want to buy it. But you have to realize that they can buy a lot of stuff. So what I try to do is say, how good of an asset can I get? Because again, if you're buying something that hasn't been registered before or is currently available, as of right now, if someone wants to buy it, they could have bought it today or yesterday, right, Julie?
Yeah.
It was there. So they could have, so you know, it's kind of myopic or self-serving to think that, well, today no one could type in, like I bought Cincinnati Home Health today. That's one of the names I bought. And the home healthcare business is a huge business. You know, if you look in any big town or small town, you just see home healthcare companies everywhere. So I thought Cincinnati Home Health would be maybe a good name for a company, or
it's a pretty solid city, I would say.
Exactly. So I bought that. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna now. Would I have bought Dayton Home Health? That's a smaller city around Cincinnati. Yes. But I may not have bought, Julie lives in a small community. I'm not going to say the name of the community, but I may have not have bought her little community one. That might have been a stretch. Now, it could still sell to somebody down the road. And I've lost your video, Julie.
Oh, I'm sorry. For some reason, I don't think the stream is connecting to the Twitter feed correctly. And so I was trying to check on that, but I'm still here.
Gotcha. All right. So one of the places I go, since we were talking about Christmas, is a site called Lean Domain Search. And Lean Domain Search, did it switch to show you that?
I got it.
It shows up? Okay.
I got it.
Lean Domain Search is owned by WordPress. And warning, this data could be as much as 5 to 6 to 8 years old. So it may not be current, but what they tried to do is they tried to figure out what are the 5,000 words that occur in domain names the most. And so to give you an idea of what that means is, if I type in just a random string of letters, they'll show me that random string of letters combined with the words that appear in the most domains at the time they gathered their data. So see how I just typed in FHGGG. I typed in something where there would be nothing taken. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it says that there's 10,000 available domains. So it has the 5,000 most popular beginnings and the 5,000 most popular endings. So as you can see, it's saying the most valuable beginning you can have is my. See how that's in bold? See where it says my, whatever the word is I just typed in.
As big on my screen as everyone else does on theirs. So I cannot. Unfortunately, I can't full screen my screen on the producer side.
Let's see. Okay, but everyone else can see it.
Yes, everyone else can see it.
Okay.
It's a me problem.
So my would be the first one, and then online at the end would be the second one. Blog at the end would be the third. Now, again, I think this is dated about 6 or 8 years ago, but it's a pretty good indicator of how popular a word is and maybe what you can get in that word. And so just say I wanted to type in Christmas, right? Mm-hmm. Now, it isn't always perfect, okay? it could give me a suggestion of a name that isn't really available. And like this one right now, Christmas Gaming, I'm like, oh, that sounds pretty good. And I'm going to click on the com, and it says Christmas Gaming is still available. But again, you can't, I don't know if I trust it, but I'll go to Dynadot and I'll see if Christmas, okay, it is available. Did it switch with me, Julie?
Yeah.
Okay. So
wait.
anyway, so what I'll do though is I'll use this site. Let me go back and find it. Hold on. What I'll usually do is I'll copy that and I'll put it in a notepad and I'll say, right now, I think this is an awesome name. But because these names aren't dropping today, it's not like people are racing to buy them because they dropped today. You know what I mean, Julie? I don't feel like I have to buy this in the next minute. Now,
watch list. Put it in your shopping cart.
Yeah, because I may find a name down here that I like a lot better. Now, some people would say, that's okay. I have all the money in the world. I could spend $10, $12 for this one and $12 for the other one and $12 for the other one. But especially when renewals come around, you're going to want to only have the most potent domain names you can have. So you have to tell yourself that all these names are like, no one wanted these names right now. It's like going into a clothing store and they've already had their sale, they've already had their grand opening, and you're looking at what's left. You know what I mean? Now, you may have some individual knowledge that tells you that some of these names could be awesome, you know? I kind of like this one, Julie. Help Christmas, maybe for Christmas shopping.
Yeah.
But see, here's a case where they thought it was available, but it's not really. So, and then because this is owned by WordPress and they own the .blog extension, they're also showing you that you can get a lot of these in .blog.
I don't think I knew that WordPress owned the .blog.
Yeah. So what'll happen is if you type in some of the most popular words like crypto, instead of saying that there's 10,000 domain names available, it says that there's 5,000.
So this one only shows like the hand reg.
Right. This doesn't show aftermarket.
Right.
But pretty soon we're going to try to add something to free name that will. But anyway, but I think like this one, I kind of like Gold Coast Crypto. This is a huge area in Australia. You've been there.
I've been there. That was my first ever conference.
You know, you could do a lot worse maybe than having a, now if you, especially if you lived in Australia, you lived in Gold Coast, you know what I mean? Then you would have a reason to not only buy it for resale, but maybe operate it. And you could
it's also kind of giving brandable, you know, Gold Coast. That sounds like a finance kind of company name.
So the other thing you can do at Lean Domain Search is up here where it says search term filter. You can say, I only want, show me the words that start with my word crypto. And as you can see here, the most popular extensions like Crypto Group, Crypto Media, these are not available. They're actually, everything in .com is taken, but they're still showing it to you because you can get it in .blog. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's really kind of a misnomer, and I don't think any of them are. It'll always show you the .com first. Mm-hmm. So say you wanted. Free name is in the business of selling TLDs. So maybe I said, you know what, I want some TLD. Ooh, TLD AI.
Ooh.
Is still available. Now, that's kind of the opposite of the way you like it. So you always have to be, first you get excited, right, Julie?
Uh-huh.
And then you have to turn very critical.
First it's window shopping, then it's in the dressing room.
Exactly. So then what do you think if you're actually going to the checkout counter? What do you think about TLD AI?
I think you got another price.
Well, this is available just for hand reg for $12.
Is it $1.50? Then I think
no, it's at the .com, probably the cheapest you can get .com. is right now is $7.99, and I was going to tell everyone that later. At a registrar called SAV, SAV, you can get $7.99 right now, which most places are $11, even if you're a wholesale customer. This is a
I
tough
think
one, Julie. What do you think? I mean, it's so the word AI is so popular.
the word AI is so popular. The word TLD in domaining is popular,
Mm-hmm.
but in the real world, it's not. But it could stand for any. Let's see what it actually stands for in the real world. Like take TLD.
Well, the only time that it sometimes is okay to have the reverse order is even though the internet is mostly in English, a lot of languages they apply the verb and the participle and the whatever differently. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And so it does have one, it's 5 letters. It does have the two,
I think the only way it would be better if it was TLD.ai. I
oh yeah,
think
there's no doubt. But that would probably be 100,000.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I think that it's very nice.
Now, because we think that we like TLD at the end, I'm going to only search for words with TLD at the end. And so now it gives me click TLD, chat TLD, info TLD, blue. See how it only gives
Yeah.
me ones. Now, gaming TLD is still available. So this is definitely a inside the industry term. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I looked it up. There's no like common word acronym for it,
But say I own the gaming TLD.
yeah.
It doesn't exist. But guess where it does exist?
Free name.
And if I go to free name, type in page.gaming, and we had the person, so it does exist as free name. So maybe I may have to talk to free name about getting gamingtld.com.
Because who was the guy we had on the show that ran?
He was a great gamer. Let me see.
What did he have? Game?
Well, he was share. I think free name actually owns and operates gaming, but
Yeah.
so let me go back to lean domain search. So anyway, well, let's put in another one. I feel like I want to buy something tonight. Let's put in, since Christmas may not be the right word, let's do ends with gifts. All right, we got save gifts, advance gifts, but that's kind of too literal, right?
Yeah.
And again,
Live gifts?
yeah, proto freelance gifts, that would be freelancer gifts. So again, you have to assume that even though these are words that are in a huge amount of TLDs, that they obviously don't apply that well to the gifts. But you're looking for something to jump out at you, right?
Yeah.
Kind of like when you're going through a rack of clothes. I mean, all of a sudden you're like, what are you looking for? I don't know. I'll know it when I see it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, shock gifts could be interesting if you actually wanted to operate a site. So if you are looking for a domain name for a website that you're going to build, this can be a valuable tool. Or if you're going to help somebody, say someone knows you're into domains and they say, hey, can you help me find a domain? This isn't a bad way to kind of make yourself seem like an expert. You know what I mean? Because you could come up with stealthgifts.com or junior gift. You could come up with some pretty good suggestions. And rather than just hoping your brain came up with the ideas,
you're having to search the exact domain you want and hope it's available. You're getting kind of like you're going to the store. You're not on Amazon.
So store is a very popular word. I don't think there'll be anything with store, but let's see.
Go store.
The only one, but that's with the blog. See how the blog. So the only one they have in common is upstream store. So, you know, but here's a little trick that Paige uses, that only Paige uses. So don't do this because I'm doing it. So I'm not going to tell anybody. Let's see. Oh, I can't do it. Sometimes I put the before something and no one else thinks that's good, but I actually do. Now, obviously, it'd be great to have the and then a keyword, right?
Yeah.
But everything's taken. You know, I mean, if I say starts with the term, but sometimes I'll put in, I'll put in like the Bitcoin, right?
Mm-hmm.
And see how all these would be taken if I typed in Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? If I type in Bitcoin, the only things left are, ooh, Bitcoin Fox. That's not bad.
No.
It's kind of a brandable, you know?
Or Bitcoin Web or Bitcoin Premier.
See, those are down in the blog.
Darn it. Okay, Bitcoin
Yeah.
Premier.
So it's like out of the 5,000 words, there's only 5 words with Bitcoin that.
I like Bitcoin Fox. That sounds like an educator.
Let's see if it's still available. No. Oh, darn. So you have to get ready for a little disappointment.
Yeah.
But if I put in the Bitcoin, and again, a lot of people say, no, these names are terrible because they're going to be 3 words. But sometimes you can see something where I always like the, this is just me personally. So again, do your own research because it always sounded really cool in an email address.
Yeah.
Because it was something at, the bitcoinhelp.com, but that's not the Bitcoin
Well,
chat.
it's also kind of a naming like store trend right now. Like some huge brands are called the pants store, the container store.
Yeah.
And it's becoming kind of a branding trend to be like, instead of branding yourselves like, oh no, this is what I am the phone store.
Yeah.
Which is different from what we've seen a lot, but that's been a huge trend. Like the vintage outlet has been, I've seen that.
Yeah. Now let's see. Can you still see my screen?
Yep.
So one of the things I think is really important for domainers is to have a lot of good word lists. And I have one that I call my main keyword search list. And I have all these words that I really like. So I'm copying these down on the left. And I'll show you how I sometimes go shopping for domains. Did it switch to where it just has one column of words?
No.
Okay, share this tab instead. Okay.
Ta-da!
So what I'll do is I'll put this here and then do a little Excel work for you guys here. I am going to look for the store, which is one of my favorite combinations. So what I'll do is in this cell right here, D3, I'll put equals D1 in dollar signs. So that will always put the word the at the beginning. And then I'll put the ampersand sign, C3, so it'll go get 360 right there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll say, and then at the end, put D2. And even though I'm going to copy this all the way down, Julie, by putting the dollar signs, it won't keep copying D2, D3, D4, D5. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then at the end, I'll put .com. Whoops, I did something wrong. Equals D1 and C3. D2. No. Boy, here I was thinking I was going to be so small. Okay, there we go. D2. There we go. So now I'll get this great big list of my favorite keywords with the at the beginning and store at the end. And then what I'll do is I'll go to one of my sites, Dynadot lets me do domain search. And it lets me do this thing called bulk search. And here's what's important. If I just put in some words here, it would search a bunch of TLDs, like VIP and org and club and com and me and TV and these ones right here, right? So sometimes if you just have a list of words, like say I had crypto and fashion. What are other popular words right now, Julie?
Uh, Bitcoin, GIF,
Christmas.
meme.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Now,
My
these
brain.
are probably all going to be taken, but hey, you never know, right?
You never know. You never know.
So now, a lot of these companies will pay to be here. But anyway, so if I click this, it'll show me
Dynadot
all
screen?
these. What's that?
Are you on your Dynadot screen right now? Or are you
Oh,
still on the?
sorry. Okay, there
Got
we go.
it.
So what I did was I put in these 7 words, and then it picked these TLDs. But I could have gotten rid of them. Like if I said I don't want .me, and then I could have put some other ones in. And so then it'll go down here and look, and it'll tell me that fashion is available in it.com. Christmas is available in .club for 5,750, but everything else is pretty much taken, which is no surprise. But what I'm going to do here with my list that I copied from the other one is I'm going to click exact search right here, Julie.
Mm-hmm.
And that way I'm only wanting to look up the word that I gave it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so I don't want it to give me, you know how there's 2,000 other extensions now. So
Yeah.
let's see.
I've also used where you can like select what TLDs you want to see on Dynadot.
Right.
On the bulk search.
I've made a mistake here. I had a space in there somewhere. Oh, all right. All right. So anyway, this is one of the ways. And so basically, I'm looking for something to jump out at me with the idea of the, and then one of my favorite keywords, and then store in.com. So obviously, you can tell that I used to use this list, Julie, back in 2008.
Yeah.
Because I had 2008 and 2009 on there. So all these are taken. Let's see.
So now it's time for 2025.
The assistant store, the billion store, the biotech store is the biotechnology store. But it's almost like that might make it onto my think about it list. But let's see. The chat store, the cheer store. Okay. Julie, what do you think about the cheerstore.com?
I like it.
Right.
Obviously, I like it. For those who didn't, I was a cheerleader in high school and now just a raging sports fan. And I think there's so much money in sports merch. I think you have to have it.
And she was an all-state cheerleader too.
Or it could just be cheer like happy.
Her proud dad. She's an all-state cheerleader.
I do have a proud dad. But it could be cheer like spreading cheer and peace and love.
But I really like it for the cheer store because it has, a lot of cheerleading might be the best one, but that's how many letters is that to type, right?
No one's going to type. No. Yeah. No.
Now, what do you think about the Chinese store? It's like Chinese people wouldn't call them Chinese.
No.
The church store, sometimes if the person has their name listed on the Dynadot marketplace, you can buy the church store. So if you're a seller, you may want to list your names on the Dynadot marketplace so people can see. The Ecology store, the Contact store. Oh, anyway, so you know what? I like it.
I like
to go up here. And one of the things I like about Dynadot is if you have money in your balance here, you could just go, boom, give me that name.
Easy.
Now, I like
getting
names at Dynadot because I can make a free one-page website and get an email. But if I was going to be buying 20 or 30 names, I might go to Sav because it's going to tell me that this is taken now. But what was one that, the Chinese store. I may tell myself that I don't like that name for $11 at Dynadot, but I may like it for $7.95 at Sav.
Yeah.
And if I was buying 10 names,
that's a lot. That's a big money difference.
Instead of paying $110, I would only be paying $80. plus the little 18-cent ICANN fee. And the way I look at it isn't that I saved $30, Julie.
It's that you can reinvest $30 back into your business?
I could buy 3 more names, so I would get 14 names for the same price as 11 names at Dynadot, right?
Yeah.
And just think what that extra name might sell for in the future.
Exactly. So it could end up saving like $3,000 or making you like $3,000.
I couldn't have said it better.
I understand. Apple
So anyway, so
but
that's
Dad, we are approaching our 30-minute mark and we have some questions in the chat. Do you feel
all
like
right, good. Well, I just wanted to give you a sense. Some people don't tell you what they really do, but what you saw tonight is what I really do.
This is
and
what
a lot of
they doing?
And a lot of this information is hopefully going to go into our sponsor Free Names registrar. And I'm trying to share with them some of the ways to buy TLDs. Before we get to questions, I'll re-say their announcement this week. They did a partnership with Domain Cost Club where you can make your WS domains Web3 domains, meaning you can use them for wallet addresses, for lifetime websites, or for Web3 email. And I know that the Web3 stuff isn't completely there yet, but it's a sign that we're moving in that direction. So I'm a big fan of Domain Cost Club. I'm a big fan of the WS extension. And it was great news that Freename, through their subsidiary Web United, announced that you can now buy WS names only at Domain Cost Club right now, because they needed for this first implementation, they needed to control the registrar, Domain Cost Club, and the registry to test out the technology and get it all working. And it's only once they do that I think it'll be easier to get other registries and other registrars.
So that's actually the first question that we have is about that. More Than SEO says, can you help clarify the new .ws domains, which now can be given Web3 benefits plus any other tokenized domain benefits?
Yeah, what'll happen is you go to Domain Cost Club. I'm going to share this tab. You go to Domain Cost Club. And Domain Cost Club, for those of you in the US, or maybe you have it globally, is companies like Costco, where you pay a club membership fee. And for paying that fee, you get your domains at cost. And so in the case of XYZ, you pay $1.99.com, you pay $10.26. These are the prices that you pay. .ws for the first year is $5.
Wow.
And so the way you do it is you join as a member, and you can get a light membership for $10 a year, which gives you 5 domains at cost. 20 domains is $30 a year, 49 is $50 a year, and unlimited domains is $100 a year. But this also includes premium domains, where sometimes the renewal fee could be $100 or $200, and you might be paying $250 or something at your registrar. So it makes a big difference.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure right now they have some specials running if you do a Web3 domain. So let's say I wanted to get Christmas gifts.ws. Let's see if that's taken. So it says it's available for $5 if you're a member. And then here it says you pay $25 to get the matching Web3 domain. So you would have Web2 and Web3. And what this means is at the registrar, the Web2 domain and the Web3 domain are locked together like Siamese twins. They're going to have the same registration date, the same renewal date. Even if you don't buy the matching Web3 domain, no one else can. And no one can buy the Web3 unless they own the Web2. Okay. And that's what's important, because what's going to happen if you think of the future is instead of you having to carry around 2 business cards, one for Web2 and one for Web3, you're going to be able to just share one website, whether you're talking about your email address, your Web2 website that works on the existing internet, or whether you're talking about some of the dApps and some of the other protocols that'll use a Web3 domain. And so instead of having to have different ones, it's almost, Julie, like where you have to, someone says, well, where are you on social media? And you're like, well, I'm this on Twitter, I'm this on X, I'm this on Instagram, this whatever. So because the same word exists in Web 2 and Web 3, you only have to give it out once. Go ahead.
I was going to say, like, that's going to have to start becoming the standard eventually, especially with the new TLDs coming out that may already exist in Web 3. That you might need to have both. That might need to be that might start to become an industry standard because
and that's going to happen when these Web 3 domains, the new ones, get approved maybe at ICANN to be Web 2. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But this is an example of taking something that already exists in Web 2. Whether you can move this name to other registrars, you won't be able to move the Web 3 stuff yet. But it's a real domain name, works on the whole internet, is resolvable everywhere. You can have hosting, email, and everything. That Web 2 word, christmasgifts.ws, is a real domain name, for lack of a better word. Plus, you get the Web 3 uses.
Alrighty. And then More Than SEO also wants to know the pros and cons for minting on the different blockchains.
Yeah, you asked me that. I was supposed to look into that. The only thing I could come up with was, like, if you're buying a domain name like my .summer, I thought about maybe doing a summer meme coin. And if I was doing the summer meme coin on Solana, then I might want to mint my TLD on Solana and encourage everyone to mint their domain names on Solana, because it's more likely that they would have a Solana wallet to trade their different things. Ethereum is expensive, so I don't think they allow that. Polygon is a very low expense. And what that means, Julie, the gas fee is whenever you want to do something, you have to pay a transaction fee. So instead of it being $20 or $30, if there's a project on Ethereum at any given time during the day where people are racing to buy these $1,000 and $10,000 assets and they push the price up, you're not stuck when you just want to do a little change. So I'd say, so then Matic and then Solana, but I think they also have a couple others. So we'll try to get one of the folks from Freename on to answer that question.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
All right.
Well, I think that is all from us for tonight.
Yep. I'll just say thanks to Hedgehog. He's got 2 more tools in there.
Yes.
Analytical GPT and Scientific GPT. Yeah, the GPT stuff is great, because wouldn't it be great if you could just say, what's the best domain name I can get? And right now there's a GoDaddy plugin, but it suggests a bunch of domain names, but it doesn't tell you if they're available or not. So it really gives you a lot of stuff you can't have. But anyway, thanks, Julie. Great show tonight. Yeah. Thanks, everybody, for coming in.
Thanks, y'all for joining. We'll see y'all same time, same place next week. And I hope everyone has a wonderful week and upcoming weekend. Bye, everybody.